Good people, good individuals, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this amazing YouTube channel. It goes by the name Maxwell Lumumba Africa, and Maxwell Lumumba is my name. So for those who have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share this video to other individuals. Remember to turn on the notification bell so that anytime I post any video, you people get updated and actually you watch this video till the end without skipping the ads. This is a village content creator born and raised in Nyabuhansi village, and my sustainability, I'm depending on content creation, no any other job. This is where at least I can put food on the table through content creation. Basically, I do content on lifestyle, village logs, commentary, and reaction videos. So today's video is not about hate, it is analysis. It is not jealousy, it is accountability. I want to start by saying this very clearly. Thank you, Marwa, for taking the Argentina family to Masai Mara. Even for me, I couldn't feel good because we have Masai Mara 2 hours from here. So if they could fly back to Argentina without going to Masai Mara and appreciating the big 5.
Hay otro elefantes allá. ¿Tú mira? I am matata. Just a second. I get off my shoes. So there's zebras over there. Buffaloes, we've seen them. More elefantes para allá. I don't know if it's elephants or buffalo. No, says elephant or buffaloes.
Animal that we have here in Kenya, it couldn't be something very good, because in big 5 we have the lions, elephant, leopard, buffalo, and the other one, I don't know it is hippo or what. I can't even remember the other big 5. So that experience, seeing wild animals roaming freely in a vast land of Masai Mara, predators and prey coexistence, is something money alone cannot buy. I could like even you people could go and watch how Masai people do everything about their culture, because in Kenya we believe that one of the tribes that are in Kenya that actually up to now they really value their culture is the Masai Mara. Look at their dressing, everything they do, it is still they embrace their culture. So for the Argentina family, this is once in a lifetime dream, and I really acknowledge that. Credit where is due, but appreciation does not cancel critique. 2 things can be true at the same time. So let us talk about something uncomfortable. Marwa openly begged on camera for money to take his in-laws to Masai Mara.
So I talked to a couple of friends, including family, and 2 of them came through, and one of my family members, big time, came through also. That has been possible. Even me, the day of their need, if they call on me, I'll try my best not to let them down. I think that's what friendship is about, and also just life. When you have someone you can kneel on, you can look very strong, but also sometimes you need someone who can give you support. It really doesn't matter how strong you are.
I usually tell people that begging is not bad, but beg with a reason. But here now you're coming to beg for luxury, and you have said so many times that you have money, you are a boss, people call you boss, you own a lot of properties, from the villa to the horses to the animals, lands, yeah, but still you come to the camera. Yeah, even sometimes, even for the poor, because I know severally a lot of people have been calling me poor, but the rate at which Marwa himself begs is more than the way I can say even I can beg. So subscribers were emotionally pushed into coming through, and yes, 2 subscribers came through, plus one family member. That is from what Marwa himself has said. Now ask yourself, when does storytelling turn into financial pressure? When does content creation turn into public fundraising without transparency? There is a difference between support the channel if you want and I need money for this personal family trip. When viewers feel guilted into giving, that is no longer organic support. That is emotional leverage. So, creators must be very careful because today it is Masai Mara, tomorrow it's medical bills, next year it will be land, houses, cars, because during this trip to Masai Mara, we have seen even there are plans to expand the Marwa safaris. So, boundaries matter. Okay, leaving that aside, Marwa claimed that only Kenya has buffaloes. This is factually incorrect, and this is where the problem starts. Speaking on behalf of African without knowledge, because now Marwa himself is now seeing himself as the spokesman of Africa. Let me tell him that where African buffalo are actually found, because from the African buffalo actually is found across many African countries, including Tanzania, where in Tanzania we have the Serengeti and Ngorongoro. We can get buffaloes there. In our neighboring country in Uganda, we have the Queen Elizabeth National Park, where we can still find these buffaloes. In Rwanda, we can see Akagera National Park, we get buffaloes there. In South Africa, we have the Kruger National Park, buffaloes. Botswana, Akavango Delta, we can still get buffaloes there. In Zambia, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, DRC Congo, here in Kenya, where we have the Masai Mara, we have others in Savo, Amboseli, even in I think it is a national park in Meru, we still have buffaloes. So, no, Kenya does not own the buffalo. African does. When you speak to global audience, misinformation damages credibility. Creators must research before speaking. That is something that I should tell us. Another uncomfortable moment.
Coming from Total petrol station, so you have to put hazard and then we go this way and we are going here matatu here. So we are going here.
Marwa dictating to the driver, telling him when to indicate, when to put hazard. Let me be very clear. A safari driver is, because you told us that Matata, the driver, the safari tour guide, is very, because we now see him as a safari driver who is very, actually is, first, trained, second, licensed, third, experienced, and fourth, responsible for guest safety. So, hovering over him is disrespectful and distracting. You hired a professional. Let him do his job. Leadership is not control. Leadership is trust. That is what I can actually say about. Okay, for today's trip, let us say that you are the boss. You are the one who was controlling everything because you are the one who paid for that package. So, because even the audience wanted to learn something, for today's situation, let us be lenient. I don't want to talk about what we have seen on the camera happening in Masai Mara, but there's some things that I have to bring them to the board. How could you people travel without the binoculars? How could you people travel without refreshments? Yeah, because not even water was in that vehicle. No soda. Yeah, that was really bad. Leaving that aside, because Marwa himself has suggested about converting the family villa into Marwa's lounge.
Instead of calling my villa, I should call it lodge, Makaka. Can work very well, you know. Also, what do you think? Instead of calling our villa Marwa Villa, we call it Marwa Lodge.
But it's not a lodge.
Why?
You know the names when a hotel, a lodge, they receive that name because they have certain structures and things like that.
Okay,
So,
give me an example of a structure.
I don't know exactly, but I know there's a difference. You can check.
You tell me the structure that the villa is missing. I will buy the structure and make it a lodge.
When Marwa himself asked Rocio, Rocio says no, and Rocio is 100% correct. Let me tell us that what legally qualifies as a lounge, because when you hear something about a lounge, what thing does it come to your mind? To operate a lounge, you must meet strict criteria. First, business registration. Second, liquor license. Third, public health approval. Fourth, fire and safety certification. Fifth, noise and zoning compliance. Sixth, security and sanitation standard. And leaving those aside, we have what we call tax implications, where there is a VAT of 16%. We have the tourism levy, entertainment tax, county permits, alcohol exercise compliance, and approximately 2% turnover levy, depending on the country. This is not content fantasy. This is law. But when you tell us that you will adhere to these or the law and regulation, nothing will stop you from making it. And I don't know if you wanted to say it a lounge or a lodge, because let me just give a difference, maybe for Marwa, between lodge and a lounge, so that he has to know a lodge is not just accommodation. It must demonstrate environmental conservation, sustainability, waste management, water and energy efficient, community integration, low ecological footprints. A lounge, on the other hand, is commercial, is noise oriented, is alcohol centered, is tax heavy, invites regulatory scrutiny. Trying to convert a family house into a lounge is not entrepreneurship. It's financial desperation masked as vision. That is not a great move, because you have seen what is happening on the villa. You people, you have a lot of staffs there. So converting these is not a good move. Leaving that aside, let me talk about where something has really happened today. And I don't know if this something has happened before. Maybe the audience will be telling us. Now let's talk about hygiene and culture.
Guys, I'm in the toilet, and to be honest, my intention was not to film, but it looks very clean that I'm so impressed. very clean by the flush. Very nice. The person who is working here should get a rise. He's doing a fantastic job. 3 fantastic.
Filming inside a toilet. Joking, laughing, logging. These seem normal maybe to some audience, but let me educate you. Western audience perspective. Toilets are private zones. Hygiene boundaries are strict. Content like this is seen as unsanitary. It damages brand image instantly. In Africa, we have sometimes normalized using the toilet, then greeting people with a handshake, then eating without sanitizing. This is something that we must unlearn, not export. Because we saw what Marwa himself has done. You cannot tell us that that is sanitizer. Okay, we saw you washing the hands. The same hands that you are using to catch your GoPro. Okay, me, I'm using a phone. But the same hands that you are using to catch the GoPro. Because I saw you washing this hand, taking it back, catching the GoPro with the other hand. Remember, even the GoPro itself was in that toilet. So even if you washed your hand, have you sanitized or have you disinfected the GoPro? That is no. Then after that, you go greet people. When it comes to food, you eat using your hand because that is African culture. In Africa, a lot of people, they don't use spoons or the forks while eating. So once you do that, you go eating. This is something that is really unsafe. So content creators are cultural ambassadors. What you normalize on the camera becomes your global identity. Marwa, this is not hate, but stop speaking for Africa. Because when you say that this is what African does, or this is only found in Africa, you can be wrong. So stop generalizing, because you have subscribers from every part of the world, Africa inclusive. Because even from the comment section, I've seen there's somebody commenting about Botswana, another person commenting about Zambia. They tell us that in Zambia and Botswana, we have those animals. Another thing, stop pressuring subscribers. Just do that video about you begging even once. Then afterwards, stop actually pressurizing them, doing a lot of videos begging right, left, and center. Sometimes begging is allowed, but the extent at which you are now begging is now overweighing even your needy. You want a lot of money. We have seen even breakdown of your sister, how much she earns a month, and you are doing better than your sister. But when you come on camera, your work is to beg. That is not something good. And stop blurring family life with business shortcuts. Respect your villa. That's your house. That is your premise. And your family staying there. Just have some respect on how to go about it. Because I know at the end of the day, you need money. You need visitors. But let it Don't use business shortcuts. And respect professionalism. Matata, you employed Matata to work for you. Don't dictate on his work. Try to interview him. Try to look, does Matata feel the safari package that you're talking about? That is one of the ways that you can really gauge. But you now dictating that you can indicate from the petrol station, indicate, I don't know, do these. That is not something really good. And respect hygiene boundaries. So when you go ahead and film yourself inside the toilet, what does that show us? That is total disrespect to the audience, to everybody. And respect the facts. Growth is not about views. Growth is about discipline, accuracy, and responsibility. Yeah? If you agree, because I know a lot of audience are watching this video, if you agree, comment respectfully. If you disagree, debate with facts, not insult. This channel stands for truth, analysis, accountability. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you value thinking content, not noise. That is it that I have for today. Let us meet in the next episode. Goodbye for now. Let us meet in the next episode. Goodbye.